I think we've waited long enough for any stragglers. So I'm going to get started with today's lesson. So this will be the final lesson for your class. So I used to teach a lecture on the last day of the assignments to review, but I learned over time that no pay attention to units because they're so busy trying to get at their model. So I'm just going to teach that stuff today. Yeah, it's pretty easy class. I'm just going to show you guys a few things that happen inside of an actual Revit office. Some things to look out for, some things that got me into trouble when I first started working with Revit professionally. I'm going to show you guys how to make revisions. But first, our friend Mike has foolishly submitted his final project already. So I thought we would take this opportunity to find out how it looks. Maybe we can improve our projects, learn something from him. So just looking at the model, it looks quite good. Everything seems to be, he has all the framing. Yeah. He added these bolt plates, which is pretty nice. It doesn't really look adequate though. And I guess that's the challenge of Revit supplying these new connections. Where are they? I guess Can you guys? Yeah, you can. Hang on a sec. Just gonna move my taskbar. So Mike showed me that there's this Autodesk icon here, and you can use that to download extensions for the Revit software, which is pretty impressive. And it didn't ask, when I did it, it didn't ask me for my Autodesk ID, which it typically does when you want to download Autodesk products. It just happened automatically because it understands that you're on a BCIT computer, which has the license. So it's pretty awesome. So he downloaded an extension that was called Steel Connections, and that's how he got this stuff in there. Which, can you see how it says 1 and then 2 here? So he selected these two members and added this connection, which, seems like it's about the right height from the top, but it's just not enough bolts for this connection. And that's the challenge, is now that we have this software available, we're going to have all kinds of Revit models that aren't really made by a designer, and I think that's a real challenge. If somebody gets this model, they might take this seriously, and they might say, oh, guess what? Great news, we're going to save so much money on our framing connections. And they're like, hey, wait a minute, use the same one on each connection. So, yeah, totally not adequate. But it's impressive that he figured it out. So the framing, he didn't slope it. Other than that, it looks pretty good. Yeah, he figured all this stuff out. It was impressive. And it's good that he gave this a try. I don't think he quite got it correct, but it was a good attempt. And he put in the escalator and the elevator shaft, which is nice. And he did most of the wedge. He got the front of the wedge. He didn't actually put the wedge in, the wedge steel, so no bonus marks for him. He got the slab on grade in. All right, so The first thing you're supposed to do is create a roof framing legend. Let's see if he did it. Beam splice legend. Let's see if he actually has that. Yeah, that's right. Looks okay. It's not the nicest splice I've seen. Doesn't really quite match his legend, but at least he did it. All right. He was supposed to use fill regions to call up the stirrups on grid D. Which he did, which is nice. He's supposed to create all the concrete columns on the parquet plan. So you can see that he could have done a lot better because he tagged all of the ones on the inside, but there's no way of identifying the columns along the perimeter. So the last ones he did, and worse than that, there's no way of locating the muting. So when he comes to class later, you guys can let him know that no one knows where to locate his columns. So we don't know what size they are, we don't know how to locate them, so that's not good. Next thing is supposed to choose one concrete detail from sheet 10. Let's check out his detail sheet. So this is the one, and this is kind of a disaster. Like, I don't know what detail he thought he was drawing, but it has a few problems with it. Like, it looks like he's drawn a steel column here. If we look at 3D, we select that column. Yeah, so we can see that that column is right there, but then he's gone and he's put some reinforcing in it. So that's just totally impossible, ineffective and impossible. So I think he's trying to take the easy way out, and he tried to put some, tried to take the reinforcing from another detail. Like what was that other detail we did? This one here. So he tried to take this detail, and then he tried to copy it down and then turn it into this detail here. But it's totally not working. Not only because there's reinforcing inside the steel column, which is ridiculous, but also he's gone, he's put this pour line in, and I can see now what's happened is that this pour line is not supposed to be here. Like, it would work if there was supposed to be a curve here, but there is no curve here. So something went wrong. I actually don't even see the curved wall across here. So yeah, there's definitely some miscommunication here with what he's trying to do with this detail. It's pretty much a disaster right now. You know what he probably did? He probably didn't even intend to do this. He probably deleted the curve and then just put the column in and just happened to be there in the right spot. That's what I think happened. Yeah, so that's not very good. Choose a steel detail from S12 or S13 to do.
早晨，
今日你喂唔喂？
So it
我
looks
喂佢啦
like
今
he
日，
chose this
我喂
one,
佢，唔好出聲住。
and he's opted to use
Enjoy it.
just lines. He didn't use any.
瞓你，
Oh, he did. He used the whole family, and that's
我
good.
喂佢先。
So he thought it was
Oh, fun.
faster just to
Fun
draw
guy.
everything with lines.
瞓夠啦
The。only thing I would recommend is these things are pretty silly. Like, I wouldn't. The break line is just too big. All we're trying to say is at the beam ends, we don't want to draw so much attention to the end of the beam beam like that. Oh, I see. Yeah, there should be a space there too, because what it looks like is there's 4 3/4 inch diameter bolts would be enormous bolts. But what he's trying to say is there's 4 3/4 inch bolts. All right, next thing you're supposed to do is create a title sheet for 3D. And you did that 3D structure. Looks pretty good. And this is a problem that a lot of you guys have on your drawings. You have this text that isn't capitalized. Remember, all the text on your structural sheets should be capitalized. And I mean, you don't have to capitalize everything in the project browser, just on the sheet. And so if you don't want to make this full caps, every view inside the Revit project, you do have the ability to change the viewport title on the sheet right here. So you can just call it whatever you want. So you can type it whatever, as long as it's full caps. You can type whatever, but remember, if you don't have full caps on there, your drawings are going to look silly. They're going to look super unprofessional because you'd never see that. You never see lowercase on structural drawings. And then you can see that that didn't change. It didn't change the title in the project browser, just what it shows on the sheet. Okay, next is complete the roof framing, which I can see from the 3D model. He's definitely done. So I got confused right away, because you can see that we have these structural plans, and we have some floor plans, and we have ceiling plans. Do you guys remember what ceiling plans are? Anybody remember what a ceiling plan is? There's not too many disciplines that care about a ceiling plan. Ceiling plans are made by the architect to show everybody what the ceiling looks like. You know who cares about that? The electrical guys care about that and help them what kind of lights they're doing. What's the lighting? And maybe the HVAC people, the mechanical engineers care too, because they know where they're going to be able to put their ductwork units. Like this thing. Structural, we totally don't care about ceiling plans. We'll never make a ceiling plan. We don't care about them at all. So if you have this stuff inside your model, just delete it. Totally useless. And same with floor plans. We don't make floor plans. Floor plans are made by architects to show people how to move through the space. We make structural plans. So these things we should delete also. So this is the one we want, upper roof framing plan. And it looks excellent. Yeah, like we already pointed out, the splice doesn't work very good, but he's got these things on there, which is good. So he's got the chord angle, or the bottom chord angle extensions. He's got the roof deck. That doesn't make very much sense. Because we can only slope to the column, because that's where the framing will go down. He forgot to say how low the roof framing is sloping at this point. So we don't know. It looks like they're going to put a roof drain there, and I see these slope lines, but I don't know how far this splice plate is going down. I didn't get the roof deck correction correct. It's got the high and low beams. Here, he didn't give it the same nice treatment, so this is screwed up. He's tagged them way too many times, and so I don't know, like, if this is at 118 and the other roof is at 124, I need to know, like, there's gonna be beams up at the top, and there's gonna be beams down below to pick up this framing, and I don't know which is which. So that's screwed up. But he did include the north arrow, so that's nice. I know which way is north. All right, create a brace elevation. On grid 7. So here's grid 7. And here's the braces. So let's check out his elevation. So it looks very nice. I don't know about how everything is shaded. Yeah, this would probably be better than this. And the reason why is because this is going to print really dark. When people look at the drawings, it's just going to be a big smudge. Like, I know it looks good on the screen here, but when it gets printed, it's not going to look good. And traditionally, structural drawings look like this. So yeah, make sure you have your views on hidden line. And he tried to draw, he modeled, that's one of those silly connections. Yeah, which is hilarious. Like, that is the worst gusset plate I've ever seen in my life. Like, the whole point of this is to make this stiff. Because if this isn't stiff, the entire building is going to pancake or fail here, and the whole thing is going to slide down. So yeah, it's cool that he figured out how to do it, but it just looks bad. Because it just doesn't make any sense. It's just not going to brace like this. It's just not going to brace this bay. But he did get the size of the brace numbers, which is good. And the drawing is laid out very nice. It's got the curve there, which is very nice. With this stuff here, it probably is a good idea not to put this stuff on here. And the reason why is because it simply doesn't reference. I understand that the reference drawings on the WSB set include this stuff, but if you don't have an 813, an 810, an 816, then your drawings just aren't going to make any sense. So, yeah, see, there's no 816 or anything on here. So when you have these reference stuff, it's just doesn't work. He just drew this on there, which is fine. And let's check out his stairs. So he put 3D stairs on this side and on this side, which is okay. And it looks just okay. He kept the cut plane on at 1 and didn't get rid of the hidden line, so that doesn't look very good. Because in a structural drawing, this looks like underneath the slab, we've got a whole bunch of stairs, right? So he should have went into visibility graphics and turned off these lines above inside of the model, and you should have increased the cut plane so that this doesn't look so silly. And let's check and see if we got any bonus marks on the main floor plan. Reinforcing plan, I mean.
he didn't create any families. He just has the original one. So no bonus marks in the reinforcing department. Okay. But other than that, pretty good work. Definitely could have done better if he came to our class, but he's not here. So you guys will have to let him know. If you like him, you can let him know that his detail sucks. And that his columns in the parkade also suck. All right. So let's talk about what happens when you guys are working. I know that you do this all the time. When you want to open a project, you have the file and you double click on it. And if you guys work in Revit and you do that, you're going to get yourself in trouble. And the reason why is because inside of an office, people rarely work on just one file, like the way that you guys are doing. They're all centralized. So there's going to be one version of the Revit project on the company server, and when you come to work on it, you don't open it up. You take a copy of that Revit project, which is on your computer, and you work on that. When you're done working, you save your changes back to that original model. Does that make any sense? The reason why we do that is so that more people can work on the same project. So I can get one person to work on the foundations, that person to work on the main, one person to work on the roof. And before that, I'll synchronize the changes to the original model. And the software will keep track of all the information. And so that nobody can touch anything else. So, I want to touch these foundations. And okay, you're not still say, Stu already changed it. You cannot change it until you synchronize, and then they'll synchronize their model, pick up the changes that I sent to the model on the server, and then they say that, that was already done. Okay, perfect. Make any sense? So I'm going to show you how to do that. So with this model, there's a tab here called Collaborate, and what you do is click on the Collaborate button. You have to save the model before you can collaborate with others. Or I better save it. I'm enabling collaboration. This allows multiple people to work on a Revit model simultaneously. It says, how would you like to collaborate? On your network or using the cloud? So the cloud is, I think, the Autodesk server. So we don't have that. So we'll try this. So it says it's enabling the work sharing. All right, so nothing seems to happen, except for I have some new buttons underneath the Collaborate tab. I have this new thing called Work Sets, and you can see that what you can do is you can assign different parts of the building. So I can create a new work set that says, I can call it Stu's Framing to not touch. So I can make that the active work set, and that way when I go to the upper roof framing plan and start drawing things, I'll put a beam right here. If I select that beam, you can see that it now belongs to the work set that is called Stu's Framing. Okay. I'm going to save this. And I get a message that says this is the first time that the Revit project has been saved since it's been centralized or work sharing has been enabled. And I say, yeah, I know I just did that. All right, so now you guys are going to come to work. And if you just go to the server and you double click on this, it's going to open it up. and there's going to be trouble. And because you just open up the central model and it locks everybody out. No one else changes can get reflected in that model, and everyone will hate you because their work is lost. So what you need to do is you go into open and you find the central model on the server, and what you need to do is create a new local version of that. So you have to go the long way so that you can say create the new local. And then you can do all your work that you need to do, whatever the engineer wants you to do. And you can move the beam. And once you've done all your work, you go back to the Collaborate tab, and you can synchronize. So this is the button you press when you want all the changes that you've done to go back to the model that's on the server. So it says this is where that model is located, and you say, okay, take that beam change and push it up to the central model, okay? So this is, like, the company I work for, WSB, is not that large. We have 20 engineers and 20 draftspeople, but some companies have hundreds and hundreds of people, and especially architecture firms, and it has as many as 50 people working on one model at a time. So if you find yourself in a situation, make sure that you go the long way and open this up slowly, because you could. And be very careful when they say, make sure that you only open up work set 1 or work set foundations or work set framing. Then yeah, that's what you do. And this might be disabled anyhow. They could just say that you're not allowed to touch them anyhow. Anyhow, now you know that exists. So, do you guys know what the hardest part about being a structural drafter is? Because I can tell you, and it's not something you would expect. You know what it is? No, the coworkers hopefully are great. The challenge is the deadlines and the changes. So I worked on a building that was 3 stories of concrete and parquet, and on top of that, there's going to be 4 stories of wood. And the engineers designed it, and it was great. Then we issued it to tender and how much it cost. And I get an email 2 days ago from the architect who said, we need the drawings by Friday if we're going to issue the drawings for construction. And I said, okay. And he said, don't forget to put the framing on top of the elevator. And I said, what elevator? And they said, oh yeah, you probably need the drawings. Okay, can I have your latest drawings, please? So I get the drawing, and they changed it. The building isn't even the same length anymore. There's a new elevator over here. It's half the building now goes another level higher, and it has to be re-engineered. It drives everybody insane because all the work I did before has to be redone and rechecked, and the drawings have to be redone. And that's a pretty extreme example, but that's the real challenge, is that once the work is done, you have to do it again. And so I don't know if you guys have had to deal with any revisions at all, but the way that it works is that a really good architect or a really good structural firm will cloud the changes. Have you guys ever heard that before? Clouding the changes? Okay. So if I was going to make a change, for example, I needed to change this column size, I would want to make the change, but now I need to cloud this. So on this set of drawings, I'm gonna call this an addendum. You guys know what an addendum is? An addendum is like an official word of saying the changes. If you issue the drawings for tender, so they say this building is going to cost $2 million to build. You need to change to it. They say they want longer canopies or shorter canopies. You have to issue what's called an addendum, and that's an official revision of the drawings. So we don't want to issue drawings that are changed to date. Yes, it has to be addendum so that it gets counted legally.
So what we're going to do is go to View tab. We go to Revisions. We're going to make a new revision. So we could add one. There's already one here. So this will be revision number 1. It's going to count them numerically. So I'll enter the date. And typically, we could call this we'll call it addendum 1. And we could say if it's been issued or not, but for now we'll just say cloud and tag, which is good. And now that I have the revision, I can go to annotate. And there's a thing here called revision cloud. It says here, addendum 1, which is the revision I just made. And just use the sketch tools. So that way on the drawings that I issue, the addendum drawings, this cloud will identify what changes have been made. So I say okay. And just for your information, inside of View and Revisions, you can tag this. And you could, we'll check and see if there's a tag loaded, but when you say that it's been issued, it says that it can't be modified because it's been issued. So you can either unissue the revisions or hit cancel. So it kind of keeps track of it. And this is really handy. I use this all the time. In some of my projects, I have 300 revisions. And so this is really wonderful to keep track of it. So I'd go to View Revisions, and I would, once it's issued, I typically move on to the next addendum or the next set of change action. The changes are typically called site instructions. So in that case, I would go to, well, we didn't even issue, we could just say that it's been issued for construction. Let's say it's issued tomorrow. Where does that go? So what you can do is, I'm going to edit this title block family. And you can see that it's possible to create what's called a revision schedule. But here's my schedule. I lost my title block. Oops. So I can take that revision schedule, put it on my title block. I load this into the project. Anyhow, I don't want to get too far into that. I just want you to know that that exists. So that's how you will get the revisions listed inside your title block, is by creating a schedule. But anyhow, back to the original point is that once the drawings are issued for construction, you can just make another one. So because after it's been issued for ISC, which is issued for construction, you can say that this is going to be site instruction number 1. This is going to be the first change to the building after it's been issued. Construction, so that's been issued, and you don't want to show those clouds. And you issue whatever changes were made for the site instruction. And then you print the drawings, and then they know what the changes are. That's as easy as it is. And each company has a different way of handling revisions, and it depends on the size company you work for. If you work for a small company that makes luxury homes, maybe you don't even do this, and it's not as official because the jobs that I work on, the budgets are so high, and the way that the construction business works in Canada is that everybody bids low to get the job, and then everyone makes changes and tries to get their money out of it. You know what I'm saying by that? So you say, the company will say, yeah, we'll build a steel for your new building, and we're going to do it for only $1.5 million. Oh, wow, that's really good deal, okay. And then we start working, and they say, oh, wait a minute, you didn't tell us there was going to be a rooftop canopy. That's going to be an extra $250,000. And so that happens constantly all the time. We're trying to do add-ons to make more money for the firm because they underbid in the first place and not make any money on the job. It makes sense. And I watched a documentary about how they would do that in Asia, and in the Middle East, they have a whole different system for how construction per se. So I guess it's a North American and European thing. That's the way the company works. So that's why, for me, I have to keep track of all the movements and all the sales trucking very carefully. So because everyone wants to know who's paying for it. So every time somebody makes a change, or adds some stairs, or lengthens a canopy, or adds some weight to the building, then everyone's like, okay, who's paying for that? Is it the owner? Is it the people who screwed up and didn't know that you could put that there? Or did you just miss it? So we're going to pay. So, but yeah, if you're working for a small company, maybe you don't ever have to issue set instructions. And you do it different way than I do it, so I'm not too sure how I do it. So any questions about that or revisions? Or, yeah. So these revisions are yeah, we only play a lot. Not 100% what you need, but it's this, the set instructions, yeah, I guess pretty much how it works is you create the revisions, then you make a cloud set of links to the revisions, but that's all it really does. So what feeds and what else are yeah, they're not connected in any way to that system. It's just the system of adding clouds and linking them to a revision list. There's no connection between that and other structural elements. Could I ask a question? Okay, cool. Any other